Ever wondered what it takes to legally immigrate to the good old USA, the land of opportunities? Well, sugar, you're in the right place to find out. You see, the United States of America, with its sprawling cities and golden wheat fields, has long been a beacon of hope and ambition. It's the place where dreams are not just dreamt, but lived. A place of unlimited possibilities, where the only limits are those you set for yourself. It's the charm of the local diner, the thrill of the Broadway stage, the buzz of Silicon Valley, and the tranquility of the Appalachian Trail. It's the great American dream, and it's as varied and vast as the country itself. But like in any good story, there's a journey to be undertaken before the dream becomes a reality. That journey, my friends, is called immigration. And let's be clear, we're talking about legal immigration here. It's a path that's as complex as a good gumbo recipe, but just as worth it in the end. Now, there are several ways to legally immigrate to the U.S., kind of like how there's more than one way to skin a cat. Some folks come for work, some for study, others for love or family. And each of these reasons has its own special type of visa. There's the H-1B for skilled workers, the F-1 for students, the K-1 for fiancés, and a whole slew of others, each with its own rules and timelines. It's a bit like ordering from a menu at a Southern BBQ joint. You gotta know what you want, and you gotta be prepared to wait for it. And just like with BBQ, the results can be oh so satisfying. Now, ain't that a peach? But hold your horses, it's not all gravy. Let's dive deeper into the process. Let's spin a yarn about our friend Jon Doe, a hardworking fella with dreams as big as Texas. Now, John ain't from around these parts. He hails from a place far, far away, but he's got a skill set that's in high demand here in the good old US of A. John's a software developer, see, and he's got his sights set on Silicon Valley. But before he can start click-clacking away on a keyboard in California, he's got to navigate the winding road of US immigration. His journey starts with applying for an H-1B visa, a special type of work visa for folks with specialized skills. Now, this ain't no walk in the park, y'all. First, John's got to find a U.S. employer willing to sponsor his visa. That's like finding a needle in a haystack, but our boy John's got determination as sturdy as a Texas Longhorn. Once he's got a sponsor, the real fun begins. Applying for the H-1B visa is a bit like running a marathon with a sack of potatoes on your back. It's a long, grueling process filled with paperwork, fees, and a whole lot of waiting. The timeline for this visa can range from a few months to over a year, depending on a variety of factors. But let's not forget about the lottery system. That's right, y'all. It's like playing bingo, but with your future. Even if John's application is picture perfect, there's no guarantee he'll get picked. It's a roll of the dice, a flip of the coin, a spin of the roulette wheel. And let's not even get started on the challenges our friend John might face. Language barriers, cultural differences, homesickness. It's a whole heap of hurdles to jump over. But John's got a dream, and he's willing to brave the wild frontier to make it happen. Well, John's got his work cut out for him, doesn't he? But what if John's situation were a bit more complicated? Let's say John got a little impatient and decided to enter the USA without a proper visa. Now, that's a fine kettle of fish. Imagine, if you will, John's found himself in the land of the free and the home of the brave, but without the right papers. Now, he's in a pickle, and it's a big one. He's got the American dream right in front of his eyes, but he's standing on shaky ground, and that's no place to build a house, let alone a life. Now, there are some folks who might tell John that he can change his status from illegal to legal. And yes, technically that's the truth. But let me tell you, it's like trying to walk a tightrope in a tornado. It's a tough road, fraught with risks and complications. It's a journey that's not only dangerous, but also as expensive as a racehorse. First up, there's the legal labyrinth to navigate. Immigration law isn't just a can of worms, it's a whole barrel of them. It's complex, it's confusing, and it's constantly changing. One misstep and John could find himself right back where he started, or worse. Then there's the cost. We're not just talking about a few nickels and dimes here. Legal fees, application fees, and other related costs can add up faster than a rabbit gets into trouble. And if John's application is denied, well, that's money down the drain. The risks don't stop there. If John's caught in the act, he could face deportation, and that's a one-way ticket he doesn't want to get. It's a roll of the dice, and the odds are stacked against him. But let's not forget the potential opportunities. If Jon manages to walk that tightrope and come out the other side, he could gain legal status, work authorization, and a shot at that American dream. It's a long shot, but sometimes long shots are the only shots we've got. So, Jon's sitting on a powder keg here, but there's always hope, ain't there? Jon's got a mountain to climb, but with grit and determination, he's ready to face the music. Now, y'all might be wondering how folks like Jon, who start off in the shadows, can step into the light of legal status. It's a long, winding road, and it ain't for the faint-hearted. It's as challenging as wrestling a gator in a swamp, but with the right mindset and some good old determination, it's possible. First and foremost, Jon's gonna need a sharp immigration lawyer. Think of this lawyer as the compass guiding him through the thicket of paperwork, legal jargon, and endless red tape. Without this compass, Jon might as well be trying to find his way out of a corn maze at midnight. Next, let's talk about the different paths to legal status. Asylum is one such path. If Jon can prove that he's in genuine fear for his life back home, he could be granted asylum. It's like being the last one standing in a game of musical chairs. You've got to make your case stronger than the rest. Marriage is another route. If Jon falls head over heels for an American citizen and they decide to tie the knot, he could apply for a marriage-based visa. But remember, the authorities have seen every trick in the book, so they'll be looking to make sure it's the real deal, not just a quick fix. Then there's the U visa, designed for victims of certain crimes who've helped law enforcement in the investigation or prosecution of the crime. It's a tough row to hoe, but it's another path that some folks take. Now, all these paths are as different as grits and gravy, but they all have one thing in common. They're lengthy and costly. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And it's not just about the paperwork. It's about building a life, setting down roots, and becoming part of the American tapestry. Jon's journey is far from over, but he's taken the first steps towards his American dream. Jon's story is one among many, but it shines a light on the realities of immigrating to the USA. It ain't always a walk in the park, but with the right guidance and patience, it's a journey worth taking. In our little chat today, we've walked through the intricate steps of legally immigrating to the good old US of A. We've seen how different visas come with their own timelines, some quicker than a jackrabbit, others slower than molasses in January. It's important to remember that patience is key in this process. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is the path to legal immigration. We've also seen how our friend Jon Doe navigated this complex process. From his initial dreams to his unexpected twists and turns, Jon's journey highlighted the potential pitfalls of illegal immigration. It's a risky road, one that can lead to more heartache than it's worth. Now we've also discussed the possibility of changing one's status from undocumented to legal. While some folks have managed to make this switch, it's not a path we'd recommend taking lightly. It's like trying to change horses midstream. Tricky, dangerous, and darned expensive. Always remember, it's better to take the long road that's legal and safe rather than a shortcut that's fraught with risks. What's the moral of the story, you ask? Well, it's simple. The American dream is a beacon of hope that has drawn folks from all over the globe. But it's crucial to pursue this dream through the right channels. Seek professional guidance, follow the legal route, and arm yourself with patience and perseverance. Remember, the American dream is worth pursuing, but like Grandma used to say, there ain't no shortcuts to any place worth going. So let's pack our bags, tie our boots, and embark on this journey the right way, y'all.